No, I can't. 2 hours, maybe a bit more. Well, just carry on by yourself. I'll join in later, unless I'm too drunk. Hello, darlings, and a very warm welcome a very warm welcome to Monday Night Live with me and new candles. Look at the size of those. They're bloody monsters. Are they too big? Are they distracting from the general wonderment of the spectacle of Monday Night Live with me, Mr. Boaty, and I'm going to be coming into your orifices, orifi, orify. I'm going to be coming. I'm going to be coming in your eyes and ears over the next 1 hour and 59 minutes. Oh yes, and professional as I am, I've already changed the messages to the top doings. So right, okay, right. Well, let's just jump into this, shall we? I've got loads of stuff to tell you. Right, Jimmy Quinn was the first cab off the rank tonight, and Jimmy says, "Why, good evening, Boaty, and everyone." And a jolly good evening to you, Jimmy. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Actually, I hope you all had a splendid weekend, all filled with extra plumptiousness and flavoured olive oil and all of that sort of thing. Barry Scrotter has joined us, and what a pleasure it is to have young Barry Scrotter's company. There he is. Good evening, small but powerful universe. Evening all, says General Cheeseburger, the ultimate grand master of shithousery. Pingu Concord is here. Word up, Goatee. Have you killed Dickie Condom now as well? What? What are you wittering on about, Pingu? Lord Stiff Upper Lip is with us. Evening, Boaty. Good evening to you. General Cheeseburger has an opinion on what I've been doing up until now. I was editing Boaty's notches and getting that up and mulling over the happenings of the day and pouring water and that sort of thing. As usual on a Monday, I'm all behind like a cow's tail, and even worse this weekend because, of course, I have just had 2 consecutive yard days. I was there on Sunday to do Mustard and Boaty do lunch with, and then I was there again today to take Dick a Dum Dum for MOT. That went well. And to do another Mustard and Boaty do lunch with, which came as a total surprise to me because Mustard forgot to tell me, Mustard genuinely forgot to tell me that he'd organised one for today. So that was a surprise when I bloody got there. And even worse, my turn to pay. And there were 3 of us. It's not been a good day for me, money-wise, darlings. They say things come in threes, don't they? I've had 3 kicks in the balls today. The first kick in the balls came this morning when, and I can't blame anybody else for this other than myself. Sheer stupidity on my part. I got a video taken down and a copyright strike. You know, it's one of those that I shoved up for your pleasure and your enjoyment, and also a bit of my own. And I was a very naughty boy for doing so, and the video's been taken down, and I've got a copyright strike for it. So, and it was doing really well as well. But there you go. So So the lesson to learn is don't upload other people's content, even when you think you can, and even when you do the correct thing, you put it up there, you keep it private and unlisted. YouTube do their checks on it, and they will say, yeah, you can put this up and you can earn money from it. Or they will say that, right, this isn't your content, is it, matey? But the people don't mind. So you can put it up, but you can't earn any money from it. Or they will say, you can't put this up at all. And this one was fine. Green ticks all across the board. Yeah, you can put this up. There's no copyright on it. Don't you worry about it. And then suddenly, 5 days later on, boom, video's taken down. I got a copyright strike, which means that I am 33.33% of the way to having my account terminated. So thanks for that. Then kicking the balls number 2 was Dick-a-Dum-Dum failed his MOT. Big style. Oh, yes. And then kicker number 3 was we had an unexpected Mustard and Boaty do lunch with. It was my turn to pay, so I had to pay for 3 lunches and not just 2. Other than that, it's been a brilliant day. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get back to you wonderful people and your comments. Oh, it's such a pleasure to be with you. It's never less than a sheer joy. Good evening, all, says Chris Maguire. Jolly good evening to you. 2 live chats in one day, says Skip. Yeah, God. Yeah. It's not the same doing it with Mustard in the bloody caravan with no light, and he arses it up on his phone so that we're all in portrait instead of bloody horizontal, and I haven't got the thing. I can't read the bleeding comment. It was a good laugh though. To be fair, the last 2 days at the yard, especially today, it's been a really good laugh. I've really enjoyed it, even though I've been kicked in the balls 3 times. 3 firm kicks in the balls. That's bloody hellfire. And you can't take a kick in the balls at my age. Oh. Although I suppose you do get easier to kick in the balls as you get older, don't you? I mean, as you get older, so I'm told, your balls become a bigger target because you get the pendulous scrotum of advanced years. Hasn't happened to me yet. My scrotum is still as tight as a nut. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. It's like a pickled walnut. Oh, dear. Evening all, says Ashley Stewart. Dusting the crockery, asking you. I need to dust the crockery. I opened the curtains because there was some sunshine and, oh, God. Thing is, artificial light hides a lot of dust. Open the bloody curtains, natural light, and you think, fuck you now. You haven't dusted this place for 17 years, which is absolute nonsense. I dust it regularly, but you wouldn't bloody think so. What is dust anyway? Now, if Neil was here, Neil would probably tell me that dust is dead skin cells. Neil thinks everything is dead skin cells. I mean, it probably is. But there seems to be a lot of dust in this cottage. And I don't know why. I'm only one person, and I don't strike myself as being particularly dusty. I have regular baths and showers. I change my underpants every week, whether they need it or not. Where's all the dust come from? Big candle, says Joe. Have you won the lottery? Well, I'll tell you the truth, Joe. I stopped at the supermarket on the way back tonight because I specifically needed something for tonight's supper. And it suddenly occurred to me, I went into a place that I don't normally go to, that I wouldn't normally be seen dead in, because, quite frankly, it's beneath me. And I'm not going to tell you where I went because I'm ashamed. But I went there because it was en route, and it's the only place that's en route. So I went in there, thought, sod it. I can mix with the working class. I won't tell anybody about it. It'll be my own shameful little secret. And it occurred to me as I was wandering round that, of course, I don't have any candles. I finally used up all of those tea lights that I bought about Oh, I bought them about 8.5 years ago. Big bag of them from somewhere or other, and they've kind of never got used. Except I've been using them here because I haven't had any proper candles for ages and ages and ages, have I? And as I was wondering about this, okay, okay, John. I've got some updates from John, by the way. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so as I was wondering about this theme park for the working class, the sort of people who think it's acceptable to go out to a shop in the evening wearing their dressing gown and slippers. I was, having a look at the alleged bargains to be had, and I spotted these candles, and they weren't cheap, but they weren't stupidly expensive either, and they smelled nice. They're scented. They were 2.99 each, and I thought, sod it, you deserve some nice candles. I don't mean me. I don't mean I deserve them. I clearly don't. I mean, what I deserve is 3 good kicks in the balls, and you can be sure I've had them. But I thought you guys deserve them. So I thought I will treat you to some candles. And I did. And I paid for them and everything. I didn't even shoplift them. Oh, I wouldn't shoplift in a working class thing. They're used to that sort of thing. If you're going to shoplift somewhere posh where they won't be expecting it. Or just don't shoplift at all. I don't really shoplift. And neither should you. But just remember that once again, Tesco are giving away free chickens to anybody who can outrun a elderly overweight security guard whilst carrying some chickens. Oh dear. General Cheeseburger says the candles are bigger than your balls. Well, yeah, that is quite correct. They're a lot bigger. I mean, these are big candles, and my balls are, well, I don't know how big they are. Well, they're normal size. How big is a ball? I mean, they're about the size of a medium egg yolk, aren't they? Something around there. Big candles, says Joe. Oh no, I've done that one. Wow, that's a big one, says Pingu. Only 2, says Cheeseburger, not 4 candles. Yeah, that's a sketch that'll live forever. Ben says Smashing Pistons gave a rather good intro to this live stream. Boaty's funfair of talk, humour, anecdotes, and general waffly Potteringtonness. Yeah, that about covers it. That about covers it. Oh, well, that's very kind of him. That is very kind of him. I have sat in on a couple of Simon's quizzes on the times that I've been home early, but normally I'm not able to do it because normally I get back here at 9:30, something like that, and I have to get set straight up for this. But I like his quiz idea, and I think he does it jolly well, and everybody seems to enjoy it. So that's nice. Good evening, Jason and all, says Joe. Hope we're all well. Chris Maguire says if Mustard doesn't sell a car soon, he will have to resort to selling his body. Well, we sold one yesterday, Chris, so that's kept the wolf from the door. Pingu says no MOT pass for the 45 V6. No. Oh, and Ben agrees. Indeed, Chris. Which auction? What did the car fail on at MOT? Asked Chris. Can't remember. Big ones. And Joe says, I'm gutted for you that the 45 failed with 3 major fails. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, if you're going to go big. Hello, Mustard's here. Or he was here. And weighs in with his traditional. Shall I do an impersonation of him? Right. Now, I can't do it visually, so you're just going to have to imagine that I look like a slightly moist Camp Jesus. Hang on. I've never tried to do a Camp Jesus before. I need a wig. Right. And Mustard has weighed in with his traditional. It's like posh northern. So it's not broad northern, but it's not posh either. Hang on. Hey chaps. There you go. And Skit says, hi, Mustard. Cheeseburger says, the beige bomber knew it was a rot box. Oh, and I told you. Mustard says, oh, I'd love to stay, but I have video to edit. That's all right, Mustard. We understand. It's kind of you to pop in, dear boy. Ben says, I'm guessing a major fail on the beige level being dangerously low. Don't forget to like, says Mustard. Oh, sorry, it's Mustard, isn't it? Oh, don't forget to like. Don't forget to like and believe in God, because that's me. I'm the son of God. So don't forget to like the video and don't upset me father, because my father is all God and that, innit, bruv? I don't know where I'm going with that. Oh, not the Clive James one, says Pingu. That was surprisingly interesting. And Cheeseburg says Clive James was good. No, that's not the one that got deleted. It was the Bristol Bryan one, I'm afraid. Hey ho. Never mind. Just 2 more to get removed and the channel goes. You can all go back to enjoying yourself on Monday to Thursday nights. Hi from Stephen Justin, says the lovely Stephanie Smith. Good evening all. Loving the content. It's so nice to have you both back with us again. And you are now officially fully fledged members of the community, which basically means that you're morally obliged to watch this rubbish, and you get to watch me getting slightly drunk, and Cheeseburger will make fun of you. That's what being a community member means. I don't know why any of us do it. I really don't. What did it fail on our Skick? I can't remember, and I haven't got the MOT file certificate with me. Some underneathy things that are really difficult to do and really expensive. Wink McAndrew says, what the heck are you talking about? What the heck are you talking about? Oh, don't ask me. I'm the last person. I just flap my gums and words come out. Cheeseburger says, has anyone seen Dr. K, the public piano player who has fallen foul of the Chinese? What, oh, he had a bad Chinese, did he? Oh, dear. The old monosodium glutamate came back to bite him on the bum. Your scrotum, says Cheeseburger, is as tight as your wallet. Right. This is Wilfred. Wilfred Wallet. Now, do you want to see how much Wilfred has got in him after payday? That is it. One purple. And that has got to last me until March the 39th. So I really needed a heavy MOT failure, didn't I? This message is held for review, and it's from Cheeseburger. It's going to be shithousery. Oh, no, I've done that one. Why has that just been hidden? I don't know. Oh, that's good. No issues were found in my food diary, 7 days, 14 dishes. Well, thank you for that, YouTube. My channel will survive another night. That's good to know. Regularly biannual isn't enough Boaty, says Pinger. Oh, Ben's been on form today. Pendulous for whom the sack swings. Oh, and Ben replies to Wink McAndrew. We're over a year in and nobody knows yet. And that's in answer to what the hell am I talking about? Oh, Jimmy. $2.99, that's a great price, says Joe. I can't read that one. We've got an early video title from Cheeseburger. I hear you're a shoplifter now, Father. That can go in, actually. Oh, no. Who came up with the video title earlier? And I said, I'm going to use that. Oh, yeah, it was Simone, wasn't it? My bottom isn't what? My bottom isn't tapered or something like that. I think Mr. Twit of the Twits is among us, you know. Are you taking off Liberace? Asked Jimmy Quinn. I wouldn't touch Liberace. You sound like you're from Doncaster, you wally, says Wink McCaffrey. Oh dear. Has the beige bomber tucked you up, Boaty? Asked Pingu with some concern. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Suffice to say that I took Dickadumtum to the yard. I didn't come back at him. Oh dear, poor chap. Yeah, that's much more like it, Pingu. Cheesy, don't you mean his balls were as empty as his wallet? Yeah. Oh, and apparently it's quite frightening what's happening to Dr. K. Well, fill me in. What is happening? I don't know. I don't know who he is or what's happening to him. I mean, I know it's not a good idea to fall foul of the Chinese, as I've told you. I don't know what this Dr. K has been doing, but, you know, I imported a Chinese national and that angered them slightly. We have got some car stuff to talk about, darlings. Look. Paperwork. Oh, marvellous. He sounds like Liz McDonald, says Cheeseburger. Oh, yeah, thank you, Pingu, being a Jaffa and all. Yeah, there's nothing like a bit of tact and diplomacy, is there? Bloody hell. Come here to try and make myself feel better. Yeah, so, and, whoa, shit. So I've properly caught up the comments. So that's a really good start to the live stream, isn't it? So, yeah, Dicka Dum Dum is now sans MOT and stuck at the yard. So, anybody want to buy a 45 for scrap? The plus side is I've got a new challenge. Good question, buddy Scrutter. What did Boaty drive home in? Very good question. We'll talk about that now because I have now got a 7-day sales challenge. So I have driven home in a car. It's a company car, not my car. It is a company for sale car. And my challenge is, can I get this car sold for a small but meaningful profit before next Monday? That is my challenge. Yeah, a paragon of tact and diplomacy. Oh, Cheeseburg says, Dr. K did a live from St. Pancras playing the piano. Some Chinese came over and then complained he was invading their privacy. All kicked off. Chinese government asked for video takedown. 3 million views so far. Bloody hell. Ah. I wish I'd been doing YouTube when I angered the Chinese government. That would have made brilliant content. I mean, I'd probably have been killed, but I would have got bloody good views. Oh dear. Oh well, there we are. No, I didn't drive home in Dented Daisy, and I didn't drive home in the 45 press release car. I drove home in right, I can't remember what its name is. It's got a stupid bloody name. I'm not calling it that. I drove home in the latest car. whatever it's called. So that is the. Oh, has it got the proper colour in here? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's the one, Joe. That is the one. Yeah, it's kind of bluey, isn't it? I don't know particularly what it's called, but that is my challenge. I've got that car now. It's here. It's well, it's not in pole position because, well, long story. It's just down by the village hall. It's right down at well, it's right at the back of the grid, actually, to be fair to it. But I've got that car, and my challenge is to get it sold within the next 7 days. Can I return to my old dynamic sales self and actually get the car sold in 7 days and get some money to put towards one day repairing the Rover 45? And to aid that challenge, while I was driving back, I made the first part of what is going to be an ongoing video series called, somewhat unimaginatively, unless I come up with a better title, Can I Sell This Rover 25 in 7 days? And the video I made today will be part one. So the complete title, working title, will be Can I Sell This Rover 25 in 7 days, part one. Guess what tomorrow's is going to be called? You'll never guess. Well, okay, maybe you will. So, yeah, so I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to try and get the car flogged before next Monday and show Mustard how it's done, or make a, make a complete hash of it and make make a howling bugger up of it. But I'm going to try. I am going to try. Now, what I can report is I've driven that car from Shea Mustard, from Mustard's house, outside his house. Obviously, I've never been allowed in. He wouldn't have that. But I've driven that car from Mustard's house to this house, or at least to the village hall down the road. And I can report that the car drives really, really, really well, actually. And I thought we could have a bit of a chat about that. If you've got any particularly splendid ideas to help me meet my target of selling it within the next 7 days. Yeah, there we are. So now I wasn't expecting to drive home in that. Obviously, I'm driving home in it because it's taxed, it's insured, and it has an MOT, which is more than can be said for a bloody dick-a-dum-dum. But yeah, thought I'd make a challenge out of it. So I'm going to learn a little bit about it as we go tonight, and I will be mentally figuring out the advert that I'm going to do for it tomorrow and the next little bit of video. Where did I get to? Bingo says, at least Brian now has a silver failure playmate. God. Oh, dear. It is a good car, Joe. It's a very good car, actually. I can't read that. Carry on pottering. I like that. Barbara Windsor is behind that Rue de Miran door. Bloody hell. She's dead, isn't she? Well, that would explain the smell. I'll buy it, Boaty, says Pingu. Do you deliver? No, we do. Chicken, pork, and yeah, I'll deliver it. You buy it, I'll deliver it. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll drop it down to you, jump back on the train. I'll deliver the car anywhere in the United Kingdom. No problem whatsoever. Carry on tromboning. Clean it up, says Joe. It's pretty clean, actually, but yeah. Take good photos of it. That's on the list. I'm going to take it to Shillito Woods tomorrow. Well, depending on the weather, and try and get some decent photos. write a good advert, well, yeah, obviously, and post it up on more than just Marketplace. Um, or sell it to the bloke who bought the Hyundai, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, bloody hell. Obviously, we sold the Hyundai Amica on Sunday morning to a fan of Project Nigel's channel, not necessarily a fan of mine, but he knew he knew what to call it. He didn't call it the Hyundai, he called it Rod Stewart. And he was talking about other videos and said, I'm not messing you about, I'm going to come and buy it. And to be fair, he did come and buy it on Sunday morning. And sure enough, on Monday morning, like this morning, it's back on Facebook for 2,350 of the King's pounds. So I haven't seen the advert yet. I must have a look at it. Actually, I will have a look at it now. God loves a trier, doesn't he, darlings? And, you know, that's fine. We can't have a problem with that. We agreed a price. He bought it. He's entitled to try and make a profit on him. Jolly good luck. Oh, who's she? Oh, and we're friends. Blimey. Been flying under the radar. What am I looking at? Right, it's on Marketplace, isn't it? Let's do a search. Hyundai Amica Automatic. That's not it. That's not it. Ah, it's this one, isn't it? Listed about a day ago in Clitheroe. 2007 Hyundai Amica. £2,350. Description. 2007 Hyundai Amica Automatic. 88k mileage. Excellent condition throughout. MOT till June 2024. Bodywork is in fantastic condition. 2 keys. HPI clear. Full logbook present. And that's it. 2,350 quid. There you go. As I say, God loves a trier. Dear. Where's all this carry-on stuff come from? Dave Smith started it. Boaty's an extra from a carry-on movie. I don't want to be an extra. I want to be one of the main stars. Sid James's friend from Carry On Camping, the great Bernard Bresslaw. Oh, you got to love Bernard Bresslaw, haven't we? And my favourite, he was bunged it in, wasn't he? In Carry On Up the Khyber. Carry On Up the Khyber. I love the Carry On films. Deliver it to Cornwall and I'll give you the asking price, says Joe. Not a problem. I'll deliver it anywhere. Automatic little cars like that Hyundai will sell for a big price, says Joe, as they are so sought after by young drivers or elderly people. Cheeseburger says the fact that it's been subject to a B&M restoration, that's 500 quid off it. Partex. Hang on. Oh, I see, right. Partex JC, Johnny Crook is apparently the name of this car, for Barney the Boomerang, with cash the company's way, then buy back Johnny Crook for £9.99 when he's put it on Gumtree as a non-running scrapper. Well, there might be some Barney news. There might be some potential Barney news because somebody I know is going to try and buy it. They can scrape the money together. They're going to try and buy it. So Barney was on eBay He was bid to 363 quid. He was on with a buy it now of 600. The bids got to 363, but when it was on eBay before, the lead bid was a shill bid, not a real bid. So how real the top bid is now, I don't know. It's now back on Facebook at a price of £500. I mean, if I had the money, I'd just go and buy it just to save him from being in the wrong hands. I mean, it's worth 500 quid all day long and twice on Sundays. I mean, it's worth double that. It's £1,000 car, but obviously not being advertised the way it's being advertised. Yes, Ben. It could be Pingu. 2024, year of the streetwise, blah, blah, blah. That bloke is so desperate to sell Barney. I know. I mean, John's with us. Lovely John Stoodley. Good evening, sir. Yeah, I mean, he's just doing everything all wrong, isn't he? I mean, what can you do? What can you do? He's a grown man at the end of the day. I tried to help out, point me in the right direction. I mean, he's just completely shot himself in the foot. And my biggest concern is that Barney's going to end up in the wrong hands, and that's important to me. I wouldn't have got rid of Barney were it not for, the opportunity of that little metro. But I don't want him to. What's the price for the metro? Talking about the metro, ask Skip. Haven't thought about it yet. Open to offers. How do you lot value the metro? Or the Rover 111 to give it its proper name? But no, he hasn't, Cheeseburger. Shut up. Right, let's talk about this car, whatever it's called. Johnny Crook, bloody stupid name. It is. I didn't know what it was. I just got in it, drove it home, and hoped the heater worked. And the heater works beautifully on all speeds, and it goes all the way to hot. So, that's a pleasant change. So it is, or it started life as a Rover 25 IL 5-door. It's a 51 registration. Date of first reg, 30th of January, 2002. So, it's got a birthday coming up. So that's nice, isn't it? Let's have a look at the old service record. First serviced at Rover, 10,259 miles in February 2003. Then serviced at 19,081 miles in 2004, again by Rover, at 27,809 miles, again by Rover in 2005. So it was serviced every year by Rover, basically. Then, bit of a jump then from 27,000 to 43,529 miles. And again, that was an approved Rover garage. That was in 2006. So that was a main service. Did a few more miles that year, didn't it? Did like 16,000 miles that year. Blimey. Then we've got, what's all this? And what's this? Oh, okay. Then it was serviced, this is the most recent service at 58,458 miles. It had anti-corrosion inspection, brake fluid change, engine oil and filter, new brake lines and hoses. And that was December of last year. And it is currently done 58,900 and something, or it might have clicked over to 58,600 or something like that. It's done 58,000 miles basically. It's got some nice service history there. It is MOT'd until the 13th of December of this year, so it's got a good long MOT. Now, it was obviously off the road for a fair while. It's a good, solid car, but it has been upgraded in various ways. Now, it was an IL, so now it's pre-project drive, so that's nice. So it's got a nice interior anyway, but it's been upgraded with stuff. It's got air conditioning. It's got front fog lights. Even Sheeson hasn't got front fog lights. I'm quite jealous. It's got full leather interior, and that is in absolutely superb condition. And it drives really, really, really well. And as far as I can see, everything works. I've yet to find anything that doesn't work. Now, I took it through Broad Bottom, which those of you who have visited will know is just the world of the speed hump. And the suspension is brilliant, not a single knock or bang, nothing like that. Engine pulls like a train, brakes are good, clutch is good, gearbox is good. Nothing to knock it really. The alarm and central locking work, all of that. Heater works on all settings. It blows fully hot, blows fully cold. Now, what is missing is a stereo. It's got no stereo in it, just a gaping hole. But I think we can do something about that. I think. Because I think that I can lay my hands on the actual correct original stereo for that car, which, if I'm not mistaken, would be a Blaupunkt model CC32. So I'll be working on that in the next couple of days. It's got its service book, blah blah blah. So it's and it looks really, really nice. It's got a couple of dents on it, but it's a really clean looking car. It's solid underneath, and it drives superbly. So, hello, I'm being ping ponged. No, indeed, not a problem. So I'm quite looking forward to having a good go at selling this. Now then, Joe is teasing people with some details on his potential new car. There's an H-plate Rover 111 with 43k miles in the next Matthewson's auction. Not as clean as Nelson PK. That should guide the price. Ah, good shout. Yeah, somebody tell me now. Somebody let me know what it goes for. I don't know what Lewis Hamilton is worth. I know what the guy paid for it because I've got the sale receipt. But yeah, we've gone from this car onto Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton is a 94 and a 95 on the M. Mark IV, Metro Mark IV, obviously badged as a Rover 111 with the 1.1 K series, obviously. He's got all of his service history, all of the original handbooks. He will have, over the next couple of days, proper, original, correct wheel trims. And when I drove him the other day, he was over revving a bit, but he drove really well. Other than that, if you've seen the video, I mean, the cameraman was shocking, but I really enjoyed driving him. Now, I do wonder, as I said on the video, I do wonder if lack of use might be a factor. So I thought I'd give him a jolly good run. So I'm not going to I don't think I'm going to get away for an overnight road trip until, Well, I'm actually planning to start those on the first Monday in March. But I thought next Monday I will take Lewis Hamilton to the yard, and Mustard can film it, do a review. He can have a jolly good run. He can have a good blast on the motorway, and let's see if a damn good run makes any difference to him at all. The Concorde ski says Rover 100 was never on an H plate. It only came out on an M plate. H was still Metro. Uh, yeah, that's actually perfectly correct. Now, depending on what H it's on, the Mark II Metro became the Mark III Metro in 1990. And it was rebadged then as the Rover Metro. It had previously been the Austin Metro, and originally at the time of launch, it was the Austin Mini Metro, because they had a bit of a legal battle with Metro Camel, whatever they're called, Metro Camel Wayman, or whatever they're called, that make trucks and made the Metro cab. And they weren't happy with it being called the Metro. So they were forced to call it the Mini Metro. But then apparently they sat down and it got called the Metro, and then the Rover Metro. And in 1994, the Mark IV Metro was released, and it was again rebadged as the Rover 100. Although interestingly, or maybe not interestingly, the Mark III Metro, which we know as the Rover Metro, 90 to 94, that was actually called the Rover 100 in all other sales territories apart from the UK. So outside of the UK, Metro was Rover 100 from 1990 onwards. So there you go. That's interesting, isn't it? So Lewis Hamilton is the last of them. And what differences will you find? I need to do a video about this. The upgrades of the Mark IV Metro, well, you've got Rover 200 seats, so the seats are better. You've got Rover 200 switchgear, obviously pre-project drive, so they're all good. Yeah. Anyway, where are we? It's definitely a 111, says Cheeseburger, defiantly. I might have the suffix wrong. And Barry has retracted a message, and Konkordsky said, no, they weren't, Barry. The 100 came out in 1995. And Barry will stand corrected. December 1994, according to Wiki, says Cheeseburger, the 1990 to 94 Metro, says Konkordsky, was named the 100 in other European countries. Well, I just said that. But in the UK, it only became the 100 by 1995. Shame about all the dents, says Joe. That's not on Lewis Hamilton. That's going back to this one. Doesn't look too bad, actually. And, they can probably be pulled out if you're worried about that sort of thing. God. I personally think it's worth 4K, says Cheeseburger. God. If it's a company car, why not send it to the garage and get it looked at? Oh, we'll do at some point. MCW, the bus builders. I had an MCW vehicle. I had a Metro cab. His name was Morris. Is the earliest Mark I Metro on a W reg? I don't know, is the honest answer to that. Oh, hello, there's a fight kicking off. Dear. It could be Pingu. It could be. Oh, right, okay. Dear, oh dear. Oh, God. Right, it's all kicking off in the chat. Um, oh, hello. Mustard's popped back for the argument. Is it a half-hour argument you're after, sir, or is it the full hour? Our chat with Tom Drives is really funny, says Mustard. Good. Louis says, I'm guessing that Rover 25 you brought home is the PY51 plate car. Hang on, let me have a look. Oh, that's unhelpful. That I haven't got the reg on it. Oh, yes, it is. If so, I'm pretty sure that was bought brand new 10 miles away from me at J. Edgar Rora. I remember seeing it locally when I was younger. It was. I'm just looking at the service book now, and the supplying dealer was J. Edgar and Son, Daleside Garage, Rora, Cumbria. So there you go. There you go. Well, fancy that. It's a small world, isn't it? And Buddy's looking forward to seeing the. I'm looking forward to seeing the one. You all know that we did the video with Tom Drives, don't you? I mean, if it was supposed to be a secret, it's a really badly kept one. But yeah, so we've got two Mustard and Boaty do lunches with, and I'll have to have a think about whether to put them both out this week or save one for next week. Haven't decided yet. But I might just leave you to have the argument in the comments for a while. I'll just watch it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But it is. I'm going to give this card a different name because Johnny Crook is not a great name for a car. I mean, he's a lovely guy, but it's not a great name for a car, especially when you're trying to flog it. You don't want the word crook in being bandied about when you're trying to sell a second-hand car. But honestly, whoever buys it is going to get a really nice car. It genuinely does drive exceedingly well. And it doesn't have many of the normal faults. Being pre-project drive helps. So the clock works, as I say, the heater works, it goes fully hot, it works on all settings. I'm yet to find anything that doesn't work. It needs a radio, but like I said, I'm going to try and sort that with the original fitment because I think it would be a shame. I mean, it's all horses for courses and personal choice. And the Blaupunkt is such an iconic unit, and the colouring of it just works so perfectly with the earlier 25 that it would be a shame to put anything else in. And you can always adapt it, as I do with with a Jabra or a Parrot or whatever, and get all of the connectivity that you get with a modern unit. And that will finish the car off really nicely. And I'm so I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into it, writing a really good advert for it, making a nice video advert, and getting some really good pictures of it. And somebody's going to get a little cracker there. Just in time for spring and all of the shows and Pride of Longbridge and all those other wonderful gatherings that are available. Good lad, John. Oh, passenger window needs fixing, if I remember correctly. I haven't tested it, Joe. I tried the drivers. Not sure about the passenger one. Oh, and it's 2 weeks today that everybody's coming to the yard. Now then, John has very kindly been keeping me in the loop via Messenger, and it's been a busy old weekend, John, so I apologise if I've not replied, but I always read them, even if I don't reply. So let's bring you up to speed on John news. Okay, so basically, it's oh, hello, Sophie. Lovely to see you. We need to have a catch up. Hope things are okay. Uh, so, kind of good news and bad news with John. He had a hospital appointment, uh, and the good news is that the second clot has gone. So that's great news. That's fabulous news, actually. So that's brilliant. The less brilliant news is that the tumor has increased in size a little bit. So that will be the next job on the list, won't it, John? Getting that treated and getting that shrunk or removed or whatever they need to do. But John would like to make it absolutely clear that none of this will stop him from coming to the yard 2 weeks today, along with General Cheeseburger and the lovely Neil and the wonderful Sophie. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know how we're all going to squeeze into the caravan, but we will manage it somehow. So that's going to be quite an involved day because I will be going from here at Windy Bum and I will be going down to Yam Yam Land to pick up Neil and Sophie and take them to the yard because Neil will be collecting his new car, Harry Seacombe. And General Cheeseburger will be collecting John and whizzing John in style and luxury up to the yard, and we will all meet at the yard, have lunch, have a lot of fun. No doubt we'll make some videos or do a live or whatever. And I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, you've been busy, Soph. You've been busy. Hope your course is going well. So, gosh, well, it's all happening, isn't it? It's all happening. And I'm still caught up with it. Oh, it's nearly wine o'clock. Oh, that's tremendous news. Let's get the wine in the freezer. Oh, it is slightly low tide at Wine Bay because I've been horrendously poor this weekend. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've been as poor as and I'm desperately hoping that this will be the last winter that I struggle as much as I have been. Hopefully, this year will turn. When YouTube fully terminate my channel, I might get my ass in gear and do some proper work. I've got high hopes for the Airbnb. I'm really excited about that. And of course, that's all going to get embraced into Boaty's world. So there'll be a load of YouTube stuff on that. I'm thinking of calling the place Boaty's B&B. Although the B&B might be a bit misleading because I'm not giving the buggers breakfast. They'll want to be up and out at some ridiculous time. I'm not getting up and cooking breakfast. I'll leave them some cornflakes. You know, they can have some cornflakes or some toast or some. Well, they can have a full bloody English if they want. I'll leave all the stuff, but they've got to cook it themselves. I'm not doing that. But, you know, if you just put B&B, that could be anything, couldn't it? It doesn't have to be bed and breakfast. It could, well, I mean, you know, it could be beers and bangers. So it could be bed and bed and bread. because I'll leave them some bread to have toast in the morning. I'm genuinely really quite excited about it. Oh, hello, Andrew's here. I was Spotty Butty. Oh, you'll be grand, John, and if you do, we totally understand. Not a problem at all. I'll probably get bloody emotional as well. I'm terrible for. I was going to say a big tough man. I'm just a fat old man now. But I've got a lot moister as I've got older. I never cried at anything. And then you suddenly reach an age where you get really moist, and you hear a song that brings back a memory, and you suddenly find that the tears are rolling down your face, or you've decided you're going to make chow mein that night, and you go into Tesco to buy some bean sprouts that you're going to use that night, and there's some that are marked right down because they need to be used by that day. Well, that's enough to set you off, isn't it? You know, one minute you're just plodding into Tesco, planning your supper. The next minute you're crying your eyes out at the checkout because you've just saved yourself 71p. Yeah, doesn't take much. Oh, okay. Feature 12. Feature 12. Name something, not something terrible or traumatic or awful. I don't mean anything like that. Name something unexpected that makes you cry. I'll give you an example, right? If I listen to Big Luciano Pavarotti, now it has to be the right one. Now, if I listen to just any old recording of Nessun Dorma, fine, I can deal with that. But if I listen to the Nessun Dorma, his own Nessun Dorma from Caracalla, from the original Three Tenors concert, then I can't listen to that without seeing his face. And I can't see his face without knowing how he feels about stuff, having read his books and actually met the guy. And so that's a really emotional one for me. And especially, I've talked about this before, it's at the final stanza when he's about to go for the high C, and you can see the apprehension in his eyes as he hits and holds the note. You know, it's the biggest concert of his life, the biggest concert ever of classical music. It's being broadcast literally all around the world. And can you imagine the fear of cracking on that high C? And there's this terrible look of apprehension and fear, naked fear in his eyes. And then he hits it, holds it, ends it, and it just changes to sheer joy, and the smile comes over his face that just embraces the world. Well, that's enough for me. But by the time we've got to that, I'm absolutely howling like a bloody baby. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Or another example, I know I don't watch films anymore, and I haven't done this for ages, but the end of Breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm starting to cry just thinking about it. Show me the end of Breakfast at Tiffany's. I will blub like a child. Ah, dear me. Bed and Bombay mix, that would work. Diddly do. Diddly do. Cheeseburger says, Boaty, you can review my car on the Monday. If you think you'll have time, I will make time, Cheeseburger. It's made me so happy that you've let Neil have that car, says Sophie. When he told me, I was happy and emotional, as it's given me good memories of when we first met in the old red one he had. Oh, that's very sweet. Many good memories will be made in that car, and it's sure to be going to a good home. Well, I know that. Hi, Boaty and everyone, says Ivor Spotty Butty. Did I miss the start? Well, you've come in an hour and 5 minutes after it, so yeah, you missed the start, the middle. Boaty's B&B, says Cheeseburger, should be Boaty's knocking shop. Rooms available by the half hour. I've told you, I can't go down that route because the knocking shop is just opposite, just the other side of the road. And I would end up face down in the cement somewhere if I tried impinging on their business. Oh, look, it's actually 1 o'clock. How lovely. I told the other night when we were talking about this, people not to mess with. Not that I've overdone it, any of these. But, oh, who's done that? Oh, Jimmy Quinn, bless you. Thank you so much. Oh, Jimmy's very kindly sent me a couple of bob via PayPal because, as he rightly points out, he's fed up with YouTube taking 50 or 60% of a super chat or something like that. Jimmy, bless you. That's really appreciated. Such a nice man. What was I talking about then? Oh, yeah. Right. Don't try and sell drugs on another drug dealer's patch. Don't try and sell ice cream on another ice cream man's patch. And don't try and sell sex on another pimp's patch. It won't end well. So it's not going to be a knocking shop. I couldn't put a knocking shop above the restaurant anyway. We'd get a reputation. Oh, cheers, darlings. You're very good health. I'm going to be aiming at Monday to Friday. I'm going to be aiming at the businessmen who currently stay at the Premier Inn. So I'll be trying to give them everything they get there, but better. And then at the weekends, well, that can be a free-for-all. You lot, ideally, you all come and stay. We'll have some parties, and we can make all the noise in the world because we've got no neighbours. It'll be brilliant. Pingu says, Boaty, don't forget to get some gas for the caravan. Make it comfortable for John's visit. Well, what I did, and it's the best way, that little heater that we've got using those gas canisters, it's not very good. And once the gas canister's half empty, the heater won't work. It's absolute rubbish. I took, as somebody advised me, I took the camping stoves, my camping stoves, and one of those works really well. Puts a bit of heat through there. It uses up all of the gas, and it lasts a load longer than that other heater thing. So yeah, so I will get some. I'll get some gas canisters between now and the 5th, and the stoves will heat it up. I might even take my steamer and paraphernalia, and I might just make a few momo with chutney as a pre-lunch snack or an after-lunch snack. No, a pre-lunch snack would be nice, wouldn't it? I might, but then I might not. Mr. Start Ivor says Cheeseburger, it's all kicked off in the last hour. It did. Oh, Neil's at work until 4 in the morning. Bloody hell. Oh, watching Ali against Holmes gets to me, says Skick. Yeah, that was terribly sad. I mean, Ali should never have had that fight. Never have had that fight. And Larry Holmes actually cried over that as well. Because, of course, Muhammad Ali was Larry Holmes's hero. And he had a lot to thank Ali for. Larry Holmes' career started by being Muhammad Ali's sparring partner, and Ali taught him a lot. Yeah, that was his kind of starter for 10, sparring with Ali, and he loved the man, and he didn't want to fight him, and he didn't want to hurt him, and it was a complete mismatch. Ali had desperately tried to get some weight off, and he'd been on some particular medication, and it left him. The medication left him not his normal. I mean, he was over the hill anyway, but the medication made it a whole lot worse, and he just wasn't there, and he was just a punching bag. And Holmes was desperate for the ref to stop it. He didn't want to hurt him. And after the fight, Holmes was in tears, and he went into Ali's dressing room and he said, I love you, man. I love you." And Ali said, "You love me? Why'd you beat me up like that?" Oh. And then Skip goes on to say, "Glad Tyson battered him." Well, funnily enough, Larry Holmes is glad that Tyson battered him as well, because the story behind that one is Larry Holmes was retired and had no plans of fighting again. No plans whatsoever. He was out of shape. And Don King had two opponents for Tyson fall through for various reasons, and he had no opponent for a set date. And he went round unannounced to Larry Holmes's house, knocked on the door, went in, and said, "You're going to fight Mike Tyson on this date." And Larry Holmes said, "I'm not going to fight Mike Tyson on that date." He said, "I couldn't get in shape for that date, and even if I could, I'm retired. I'm not doing it. Why would I want to get in a ring with Mike Tyson in 2 months' time?" And Don King just opened the briefcase and said, "Because of this." And there was $1 million in cash in the briefcase. And Larry Holmes looked at it and said, "Where's Mike Tyson at?" So Holmes was way out of shape, had no expectations of winning. It was just a payday, purely a payday. He knew he was going to get battered, and he was very happy to go in there. I mean, he wasn't cowardly. He gave it his best shot. He's a pro. But he went in there purely for a massive payday, and he put the money to very good use. Larry Holmes is a nice man who did and does a lot to help other people in his community, and he put the money to bloody good use. And I mean, Tyson put him on his ass, but he was always going to. I mean, that Mike Tyson would put anybody on their ass. But Larry Holmes came back. He had a couple more moments of triumph. Larry Holmes, when he was almost the age I am now, fought Butterbean Eric Hesh and beat him. And that was when he was in his early 50s. Larry Holmes, one of the most... These candles smell really nice. Hope you like them. Larry Holmes, for me, is probably the most underrated heavyweight champion. He reigned for a long time, and he didn't lose his belts. They were taken from him. It was a terribly unjust decision when he lost to Michael Spinks. Larry Holmes is a really good champion. Really good champion. Amazing jab. Amazing jab. He had a long old run as champion. He was only one fight short of what's its record, wasn't he? And that's why the judges took the Spinks fight off him, because they didn't want him equaling what's his name's record of heavyweight title defenses. Can't remember the guy's name. You know who I mean. Can't remember. My mind already. Oh, it was Rocky Marciano, wasn't it? Rocky Marciano. And Skick says watching things like Dirty Dancing and videos of George Michael are also a bit of a tearjerker. Sophie says, "Boaty, I was thinking when I see you, would we be able to have a wine?" I can't see why not. I know I'll get emotional at the yard, says John, but I'm in great company with such great friends. Oh, bless you. Yeah, and you're right, Ivor. We'll definitely keep his spirits up. Larry Holmes is a very nice man. Can he repair a rover? Boaty's B&B, says Cheeseburger. Boxing bore. Can we try cycling? What's the matter with you? How can you not be interested in boxing? How can you not be interested in boxing? I love boxing. And we're so close now to the undisputed, aren't we? We're so close to Usyk Fury. And I really like Usyk. I mean, he's a funny, decent, nice man. But so loyalties are slightly torn. But as I've said before, if I had to bet my house on it, I would bet on Usyk. But it's kind of going to be a 50-50 fight, I think, isn't it? Depends what Tyson gets in. But Usyk he's scarily good, isn't he? And he doesn't get tired. And yeah. Oh, and then we've got AJ and Ngannou, haven't we? That's going to be fun. I do love boxing. Mainly heavyweights. Not quite so much interest in the other weight classes. Although obviously Johnny Nelson is a hero of mine, and he was a cruiser. Although he was supposed to fight Tyson. Oh, hello, Simone's here. Simone is here, hooked on classics. Hooked, I tell you. See what's going on here. Mm. I've got no idea what that means. That's in Ukrainian, so I don't know whether to accept or decline that. Have a look in WhatsApp. Oh, okay. So, oh, right. Okay. So, I should watch that. The guy being hassled with the Chinese. I think, says Jimmy Quinn, Tyson has had too many hard fights, but I hope he wins. I'm not sure that he's had too many hard fights. I think, I think Johnny Nelson is right. I think his legs have gone. I honestly think his legs have gone. Now, when you balloon up and down in weight, that takes its toll. And that's for sure and certain. But that change in style after Wilder won, I don't think that came about because of the Kronk gym or anything like that. I think his legs have gone. I think he hasn't got the legs that he used to have, and he hasn't got the speed that he used to have, and he hasn't got the agility that he used to have. So a bit like Ali, when you lose that, what can you do? You can move forward, you can punch, and you can take a punch, and that's okay. But he kind of only just got away with it with Ngannou, and Usyk is so elusive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see, and I don't know how Fury's camp will go. But you can imagine that Usyk is just going to come in, dance around him like a prancing pony, and just pepper him. And even if he doesn't, Usyk's not the biggest puncher in the world, but you can see him quite easily outpointing Fury, unless the Fury that fought Klitschko manages to get back in the ring somehow, and I'm not sure that's possible. Mustard is here and is finished editing his video, so that's good. Simone would like to make it clear that her bottom is neither tapered nor stackable. And everybody's saying hello to Mustard, so that's nice. Fury doesn't need the money, says Cheeseburger. This is just pride. Yeah, but it's undisputed, isn't it? It's undisputed, and it's legacy. I mean, okay, you can argue that he had the majority of the belts before when he took them off Klitschko, but this is the opportunity to be the first unified, undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis, and that would be a big thing. So I don't think this one is about money for Fury. If he wanted a money fight, he could get that easily. I think he owes the fans and he owes himself the undisputed. But, you know, I think it would have been a much easier fight against AJ. A much easier fight for him against AJ. Usyk is... Usyk, the word that springs to mind for me is mercurial. That's a first, says Simone, me getting a video title. If Tyson wins, he should retire, says Jimmy Quinn. Don't think he'll be able to, Jimmy, because there's a rematch clause. There's a rematch clause, which is why whoever wins will be immediately stripped of one of the belts, because their next fight will not be their mandatory for that belt. Whichever of them wins, their next fight will be the rematch. But after the rematch, then I would agree he should retire, probably. Unless, I don't know. I mean, he owes us the AJ fight, doesn't he? And in many ways, Fury AJ will be bigger than the undisputed fight. Probably be the biggest fight in the world. And where that fight could happen, whether Fury wins or loses. Oh, a question from Cheeseburger. This is interesting. Lewis, Klitschko, and Fury at their peak. Who wins? That's an interesting one, Cheeseburger. Right. At their peak, Klitschko comes in third place. Either of them. I don't mind which one. I mean, I assume you're talking. I assume that you're talking about what's his name. I assume you're talking about Vladimir and not the other one, Vitali. But both Lewis and Fury beat Klitschko every time. At their peak, every time. Peak Lewis against peak Fury. That's a really interesting one. That is a really interesting one. I've got an answer for that, my opinion. Obviously, just an opinion. At the absolute peak, I'm going to say Lewis, because it's been a few years now and we've probably forgotten. At his absolute peak, Lenny was something really special. And I think he takes Fury. He's a big man. He was a very big man, a very strong man. He was quite quick. He had a great boxing brain. And I reckon he'd have taken Fury, but I wouldn't want to bet that much on it. And if it ended up being the other way, I wouldn't be entirely surprised. But yeah, I would say peak Lewis takes peak Fury. What do you lot think? Simone says, I haven't watched a boxing match since the early 90s with my granddad. Well, who was your granddad fighting? Anybody we know? Hey Mustard, says I was spotty botty. Did you gain many more subs from your live today? The question is how many you lost, not how many you gained. I gained 2. Have I still got them? Or have they gone? Let me have a look. Oh, one of them's gone. I gained 2. I've since lost 1. But I'd be interested to know how many Mustard lost. He always loses subs when I'm on. And I've started losing subs when he's on my videos. So and our stuff that we do together doesn't get any views. It does really badly. Nobody loves us together. We think we're brilliant, but nobody else does, which is quite funny, really. And we're going to carry on. Tyson is worth 150 million, says Jimmy Quinn. Lost all signal my end. Was it just me, says Ivor Spotbody? I think it was. For me, says John, Fury will win on points and will be undisputed champion. I don't see him out pointing music. I think he'd have to stop him. I don't see him out pointing music. I don't see anybody out pointing music. I did enjoy watching reruns of Muhammad Ali in his prime, says Simone. Classic days in boxing, says Cheeseburger. Just a bit before my time. Sophie's just been on the phone to Neil and he said hello to everyone. Well, say hello back to him. Opinion on 3 Australian boxers, says Ivor. Lionel Rose, Jeff Fenech, and Costa Tsi. I've never heard of any of them, so not a clue. Yeah, different Lewis, Simone. Lennox Lewis, not Lewis Hamilton. So if I can't make Mustard do anything. I mean, I can remind him, but you didn't, Mustard. You didn't lose 15. You're winding us up. It'd be funny if you had, but you didn't. I don't believe that. Mike Tyson's worth 10 million, says Jimmy Quinn. God, is he? Is he really? I mean, he was potless, wasn't he? He really was potless. And I agree with Cheeseburger that he should be worth 10 times that, but Don King had more than his fair share. I'm just messing, lol, says Simone, although I wonder how Hamilton would fare in a fight. Well, if it was a street fight, Simone, then Lewis Hamilton would beat all of them. Lewis Hamilton would beat Lennox Lewis, he would beat Tyson Fury, and he would beat Vitaly Klitschko, because Lewis Hamilton is a martial artist. So in a street fight, I presume he would beat any of them on the basis that a top class martial artist, and Lewis Hamilton is as high as you can go, I assume that a top class martial artist in a street fight would always beat a top class boxer. There you go. He would be counted out while he took the knee. Well, go on then, let's have the argument. Lewis Hamilton against a boxer, who wins? Or just martial artists generally against boxers? I'm going to pick the martial artist every time. Lewis Hamilton is something like 3rd Dan black belt karate. So there ain't no boxer beating him. It's not going to happen, is it? They wouldn't even get close. Plus, Lewis Hamilton is absolutely, one of the fittest men on the planet because he's a Formula One driver. And Formula One drivers are amongst the fittest men on the planet. They need to be, believe it or not. You might think they're just sitting down driving a car, but their body goes through, quite a lot of strain. They need to be absolutely stinking fit. So, again, if I had to bet, I would bet on Lewis Hamilton against any of the current crop of heavyweight boxers. And not just Lewis Hamilton, any martial artist of that standard. I would not mess with Lewis Hamilton on any occasion, says John. I know everybody hates Lewis Hamilton, and I don't really get it. He seems like a perfectly nice guy to me. I'd like to meet him, actually. I'm just beginning to really look forward to my supper now. It's been sufficiently long since lunchtime that I'm eagerly anticipating my supper. Oh, excuse me. Bruce Lee would beat them all, says Jimmy Quinn. Was he a real person? I need to make a little folder for. Oh, I don't want to call him Johnny Crook. It's a really nice car, and that's a silly name. I can do what I like when it comes to my advertising. So I will make it clear that any name that the car has. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I've just opened this at random on radio controls. Audio system. So this will tell me what the correct stereo for the car currently known as Johnny Crook would be. And it looks like, that's interesting. That is interesting. It looks like he's from the era where they had the slightly pants stereo. So if he does get a Blaupunkt CC32, then he's effectively going to get an upgrade. So if you missed a bit earlier, then the car known as Johnny Crook currently has no stereo, and I'm planning to fit it with the same stereo that Shison has. And it looks like that is going to be an upgrade because, oh yeah, that's absolute rubbish. Right, so being an IL, he would have originally had a C42, I think. By the look of it. So a CC32 would be a massive upgrade. It will look a lot better in the car. The display will be a lot nicer. And it should still be, well, it will still be fully compatible with the steering wheel control. So I'll try and get that sorted over the next couple of days because that will be a big plus for him. The richest boxer, says Jimmy Quinn, is Floyd Mayweather, 400 million. Blimey. Cheeseburger. Put Dicker Dum-Dums. I will remind him, Sophie. I will remind him. Put Dicker Dum-Dum stereo in Nelson Piquet before you scrap it. Right, Nelson Piquet, as you call it. And cheeseburger means Lewis Hamilton, but I quite like calling him Nelson Piquet now. I might rename him Nelson. Well, his official name could be Lewis Hamilton, but our pet name for him could be Nelson Piquet. I quite like that. That's quite a cool name, isn't it? And just like, I mean, Dicker Dum-Dum's real name is Sir Richard and Lady Morris. So maybe Lewis Hamilton, his real name is Lewis Hamilton, but our name for him can be Nelson Piquet. Cheeseburger, well done. You've just, right. Pingu Concord originally named Lewis Hamilton, and you have now given him his nickname, Nelson Piquet. I like that. Dicker Dum-Dum stereo is not going into bloody Nelson Piquet. Dicker Dum-Dum has got a bloody Becker Traffic Pro in there worth about £11 million. And anyway, on a serious note, Dicker Dum-Dum's not going to scrap. It's somebody said earlier, I think it was Skip, said, well, it's only failed on a couple of whatever they were, but they're difficult jobs. Mustard immediately said, I can't do those. That's what I had to have done on Alfie. It's beyond me. It needs to go into the garage and it'll need 2 people on it. So it's going to be expensive. But there's no way I'm having Dick a Dum Dum, doing a Brian or a Sheeson and hanging around in the yard for 6 months. Not that Mustard would stand for it, not with our new regime of stuff not hanging about. So my new best friends at the garage next door, who know who I am, apparently, I found out today, I asked them to do it. And they said, we're fully booked up, so it'll be a while. I said, that's fine. I'd like you to do it, please. So he's booked in at their earliest opportunity, which is the 1st of February, so a week on Thursday. So he's booked in for all of the work to be done and to be re-MOT'd. Then all I've got to worry about is how the bloody hell I'm going to pay for it. So don't worry, there is a plan. And he is actually booked in. I saw them write it in the diary. And that's how I know they know who I am. Because they said, right, so Rover 45, Boaty. I thought, oh, God, they know my name. Who knew? So he's going to be sorted. Of course he's going to be sorted. And he will then have an advisory-free MOT, all ready for the show season. My 2 show cars this year for all of the shows that I'm not going to go to are going to be Nelson PK and Dick a Dum Dum. I shall alternate them. Oh, yes. Oh, and John asked earlier on, and I forgot to read it out or answer it, was, will I be going in Stigbutt to the yard? Because he loves Stigbutt. And I hadn't thought about it, to be honest, John, but if you would like me to go in Stigbutt, then I will go in Stigbutt. Not a problem. It'll cost me £1,003 in fuel, but I'll enjoy it. And you can have a drive if you like. I need a new name for my Rover 75, says Simone. What, Connie? And Cheeseburger says Connie is a good name. I've seen some nice gramophone adverts, says Ivor Spotterbotty, on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. The latest one has a function of playing those newfangled music. Oh, musical cassettes. Oh, brilliant. Bloody hell. George Foreman worth 200 million. Oh, he did it right, didn't he? No, they didn't write Rover 45 lanky twat had 25%. They probably will add 25%. No, they're nice people at the garage next door. And now that I know, because I was brave and went in on my own without my dad, without Daddy Mustard, they're going to be my first port of call. Now, Mustard has always said, oh, they'll help out sometimes, but they're busy and they're this and they're that and the other. And he's always kind of made it clear that we kind of can't go to them. But it occurred to me as I was driving home today, they help Mustard out because they like Mustard. They're not doing it as a proper job. So if I go in and just book it as a proper job, maybe they'll just do everything. And then I can book everything into the garage next door as a proper job. I mean, still get trade rates, at least, hopefully. But maybe they'll do it because they know that it's like a paid job, not doing a favor for their friend next door kind of thing. So that could make life a lot easier if we can just throw cars next door to get them sorted. Especially my cars. It might mean I don't have to lose a car to the yard of forgotten hopes for months on end. Which is unfair on Mustard as well, of course. So he gets landed with these things. So, yeah. from now on, I'm going to try and get everything done at the garage next door. And I shall just waltz in and say, oh, right, that's John. Hold on. Not a problem, John. I will bring Stigba and I will take you out for a drive in him with pleasure. Might be a bit of a come down after Cheeseburger's passion wagon, but yeah, absolutely. We'll go. I'll take you. I'll tell you what I'll do, John. I'll take you at Blackstone Edge in it, and then you can really hear it singing away. It's only just up the road. We'll have a good quick thrash at Blackstone Edge, turn around in the car park at the pub at the top, and back down. That'll be fun, and we'll video it. We will video it, and then I'll try and video quite a bit of it, and then you'll have a little keepsake, won't you? You know, anytime you want to remember the day and plan what to do next time, you can just have a look at the videos. But yeah, so Mustard put his video up early. Oh, jolly good. But yeah, I shall just waltz in next door to the garage and say, hello. Could you do this, please? We're very busy. Oh, your earliest convenience, absolutely fine. Just pop it in the diary. That's marvellous. Thank you so much. God, imagine if I actually did that. They wouldn't just refuse, they'd beat me up. They're nice guys next door. Right. Okay. Talking about Simone's car name, Cheeseburger says, Simone, is she Wedgwood Connie, meaning Wedgwood Blue? And Simone says, yes, Cheesy. Easy. Tony Benn. Ask Boaty to explain. You can't call her Betty Blue. My card is called Betty Blue. Minchbag's proper name is Betty Blue. Melanie Minchbag's real name is Betty Blue. You can't call Simone's car that. Brilliant. Well done, John. We will sort that. Anthony Wedgwood Benn. That's where that came from, I think, unless I'm very much mistaken. Anthony Wedgwood Benn. That'd be a good name, actually. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Been fun tonight. All kicking off in the comments. Kicked off a bit in Mustard's live stream earlier, but I couldn't read any of that. Oh, I am tired though. This weekend has caught up with me a bit. Oh, it's going to catch up with me. It's been really good fun though. I just could have done without those 3 kicks in the butt. You can't call it fat. Well, you can call it Fanny. I don't know if Fanny is called Fanny anymore. Obviously, Fanny Freestyle has changed owners, and I've got no idea what the current owner calls Fanny. Might not call it Fanny at all, and who could blame them? I quite liked her being Fanny, though. Oh dear, I'm flagging a bit now. 16 minutes of this wonderful pleasure left. I did watch Mustard's live. It was a great laugh. A few fake accounts on Mustard's channel, says Skip. Well, that's how he gets so many views. He had 60-something people watching. It's ridiculous. Mind you, he is a lot more popular than me, and probably with good reason. Hey ho. Sorry, just a bit of itchy dry skin. Nobody knows where my Fanny has gone. Oh, Joe says, what? Rob sold Fanny? God, he didn't have that long. He did. But it's still kind of in the community. He sold it to Joe, you know Jake? Jake with Project Ronnie? He sold it to Jake's mate. Probably for a profit. given what he gave us for it. And fair play to him. Couldn't knock him for that. I am on late at night, Skip, but there's not much I can do about that. I work late. It's my only chance to do it. Yeah, Skip's saying that that's why he must get a lot more viewers. He does it at a more reasonable time than me. But I quite like doing it at this time, to be honest. I think it suits what we do here this time of night. And oh, so sorry. The wine's starting to kick in now. I'd rather have this fun, filth, banter, fun with mates. I'd rather have this than have an extra 30 people who just watch the odd video and don't comment at all, or just say, I mean, yeah, we've got something special here and I love it and I wouldn't change it. And, we've started hitting the 40s sometime, haven't we? I might do a live stream on Wednesday afternoon, says Simone. Ask Mrs. Slocum. Oh, what have you got involved with, Seth? Oh, John, bless you. The live streams keep you going. That's very kind of you to say so. Oh, Sophie's off to sleep and says good night to everybody. So good night and sleep well, Sophie. Okay, right. So if Johnny Crook is this car's temporary real name under Mustard stewardship, who would like to suggest an alternative nickname for this car, this lovely car that I've got to try and sell in the next 7 days? Shouldn't be impossible. It's a really nice car. It genuinely is a nice car. I've yet to figure out what all the problems are with it. Joe said it's got and once you said that, Joe, I remembered something about that. Is it a window regulator needs sorting on the passenger side? Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. But I haven't found anything else wrong with it as yet. And we're not asking stupid money for it. And I'll improve it by sticking the stereo in it. Yeah. I did remember that, Joe, when you mentioned it, or vaguely remembered it. But honestly, the only thing I picked up on was it's obviously got the saggy headlining, but I'm not as worried about headlinings or door linings as I was, because I know of somebody to do it now and do it really cost effectively. So, that's not so much of a problem. So the only thing I noticed was the saggy headlining, and I think it might need a new driver's door pin. I just noticed that the interior light isn't coming on when you open the driver's door, and the interior light does work. So it's either a problem with the setting on the actual switch itself, might just need whatever. I haven't tried it with any of the other doors. So I need to see if the light comes on when the passenger door opens. And if it does, then it just needs that new driver's pin. I don't even know if it's there. I've not looked. All I did was jump in the car in the pitch dark and drove it 60 miles home. And those are the only two things I've found so far, and the missing stereo. Everything else is fine. Drives really, does drive well. Really does drive well. Standard thing, about halfway through the journey home, I just started really enjoying myself and started throwing it into the corners, using all of the revs. Oh, it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. You can't beat a Rover 25 for all revs. If you were going to have one car, and I mentioned this in the video that I made tonight, the first of the Can I Sell This Car in 7 Days videos. If you're going to have one second car, one modern classic, you'd struggle to beat a Rover 25 because it does everything. It's cheap to run, it's cheap to insure, it's economical. It puts a smile on your face with the way that it drives. It handles brilliantly. The K series really sings when you rev it, sings like mad. It just puts a massive smile on your face. It's practical. I mean, other cars are more fun in some ways. I mean, you know, Stigma is an absolute blast to drive, of course, but there's the fuel economy. He's a heavy car to drive with Stigma. Everything is heavy. Clutch is heavy, gear change is heavy, everything is heavy on it. Whereas with the Rover 25, everything is nice and easy. As an A to B car, when you're pressing on, and again, I said this in the video, you might think if you're driving a modern classic, then on a fast moving A road with modern traffic, you might think that driving a modern classic, you're going to be impeding other road users. And in a Rover 25, they're always in your way, not the other way around. I could have got home 10 or 15 minutes quicker tonight if the roads had been clear. I was just slowed down by traffic all the time. And I've empirically proved that. So if you think back to the driving home from work challenge thing, what was quickest? It wasn't Stigma. It wasn't any of the others. It wasn't the MGF or the TF. It was Sheeson. Rover 25s are amazing cars. Everybody should have one. And if you haven't got one and you want one, buy this one. And then I can meet my 7-day challenge as long as you buy it before next Monday. I was tempted to sell my car and get a Tourer, says Simone. Skick's banging down the lyrics for Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you all through my wild days, my mad existence. Called the car Dick Turpin. No, Jimmy Quinn. Madonna was good in a Vita, says Simone. The roof light switch needs to be in the middle to come on when the doors open, says Joe. And Joe, I know that. I own 2 of the things. I know. And it doesn't. But it does come on when you move it forward, which is the permanently on position. But I didn't try opening the passenger door, so I don't know if the issue is in the door light thing or the door pin. Either is easily sortable anyway, so that's not a problem. And if I get a spare 10 minutes sometime in the next couple of days, I'll sort the window regulator. If I can get hold of one. They can't be too difficult to fit. You just have to take the glove box lid off, don't you? And it's in there somewhere. And pisses you off when the head gasket goes, says Skick. I addressed this in the video as well, Skick. I've not had a K-Series head gasket go yet. What I said in the video was, if you've got a really good upgraded head gasket after it's already gone, you should be okay. But if you drive it properly and maintain it properly, you should be okay. Now, the K-Series engine is not one that can just be unloved, ignored, and abused. You can't do that. You've got to be on top of it. But if you treat it properly, the head gasket shouldn't go. Simple rules. Regularly check the coolant. Keep your eye on the temperature gauge. Monitor the heater if you've got the heater on. The coolant needs to be at the correct level and it needs to be at the correct consistency. And the other big rule is you don't rev over 2,750 or 3,000 at a max. You don't rev over that until the oil is hot. People will think, oh, coolant's at full temp, so I can go mad. I can rev the balls out of it. You can't. You can't, darlings, because The coolant is water mixed with antifreeze, and that is less viscous than oil. So when the coolant is at full operating temperature, the oil will not be. So wait until your coolant gets to normal operating temperature, and then wait some more. If you've got an MGF or TF, not a problem. You've got an oil temperature gauge. None of the other rovers of this period, K series period, have got an oil temperature gauge. So it's kind of guesswork. But what you know for certain is that the oil will take longer to get to correct temperature than the water will, because it's a more viscous liquid. So don't rev the balls off it as soon as your coolant gets there. Wait until you think the oil is there, and then use all of the rev range. K series love to be revved, but that is the cause for the vast majority of head gasket failures, and that's true across all of the K series cars, even the Freelander. People jump in them from cold, rev the life out of them, and it does the old head gasket. Door light not working, says Cheeseburger. Call it James. The light's on, but nobody's home. I've never driven a Rover 25, says Buddy Scrotter. I've worked on loads. They're brilliant. They are brilliant. They're just the best all-around modern classic at a price point. Right, JC or John Cleese or Jesus Christ or Johnny Crook or whatever it is. JC is going to be going up at like 1,150 quid, something like that. What else can you buy that does all of that for that sort of money? Cheeseburger's only driven it streetwise. It was okay. Okay at best, says Skick. Simone says, the only other Rover I've driven other than the 75 is a P5B. Beautiful car and superb to drive. Well, probably my absolute favourite, to be fair. Call it Cinderella, says Cheeseburger. With a Rover 25, you will get to the ball. Oh, I like that. I like that, actually. If not Cinderella, call it Katie Price. She's always early to the balls. Oh, dear. Jimmy Quinn had a P5 coupe V8, so that's a P5B. The best Rover ever made, he says. I've got a massive soft spot for the P5B, and it's a car I would love to own. Science with Boaty, says Ivor. The best modern classic, not a chance in hell, says Skip. The best for the price point. What else are you going to go out and buy for about 1,000 quid that does what a Rover 25 does? You've got 2 minutes left to answer that and say good night, and then I'm off to get some supper and go to sleep and see if my YouTube channel is still there. I was still there at the moment, but I've lost another subscriber. Oh, that's annoying. The two I picked up to get me up to 6,160 after the live stream this afternoon. I'm back down to 6,158. So annoying when people do that. They should have to fill out a thing. Just have a look at that. Okay. Right then, darlings, that is it. We've hit midnight. It is time to beggar off. So, say your good nights. And I will say thank you very much for joining me tonight. I've enjoyed it as always. Uh, do join me again tomorrow night, a little bit later, 11 o'clock. Otherwise, same place. Um, watch out for some videos being uploaded, I expect. Oh, God, I've got so much stuff. So, tomorrow, well, I don't know what's going to hit tomorrow. There'll be the daily diary. Of course, there will. There will be, and then there will possibly be. No, what I'm going to aim for tomorrow will be the daily diary and the first of can I sell this Rover 25 in 7 days? Because I need to get that out as soon as possible because it will help me sell this Rover 25 in 7 days. There might not be a mustard and Boaty do lunch with tomorrow because I don't think I'll have time to do it because if the weather's half decent, I want to get JC out to Shillito Woods, get some decent pictures, get a bit more video footage, have a look inside it, try and get the radio sorted and get a stereo fitted. Oh, loads to do. And I've got to go to work, of course. God, it's a busy old time, isn't it? Mark 2 or 3 Mondeo with the Duratec engine. I wouldn't count that as a modern classic. And I'm not sure that you'd get a decent one for £1,000. Simone is stuck between 1660 and 1670 subs. John says, good night, you wonderful people. Cheeseburger says, night all. It's been interesting. Take care, especially John. Night, everyone, says Simone to Taff now. Night all and Boaty, says Buddy Scrotter. You look tired, but Skick, I'm dead. I'm dead on my feet. I was dead last night, let alone tonight. Hope you all have a great night. Take care, everyone. I'm not going to some wood, says. Oh dear. I'm looking forward to a good kip tonight, I must admit. It's been fun though, and I kind of like being tired, if that doesn't sound weird. It's kind of what I've always done. I like being tired having done stuff. I hate not having done anything and being tired because I've just done nothing and been bored. I'm a bit like Lance Armstrong, who I hate and detest, by the way. Absolute disgrace of a human being. But he always said, especially when he was trying to beat cancer, that as long as he was moving, he was okay. And I'm a bit like that. I hate standing still. I have to be moving, and I would rather be doing something than nothing. And I like the feeling of being tired, having done a load of stuff. That's why I can't have a television. I can't sit and watch telly. I can't even have a phone call with Mustard. He told me off the other day. He said, "What are you doing?" I can't just sit on the phone. I have to be walking around and doing things. Oh dear. How much is the metro to one of us? Asked Skick. I don't know, Skick. If any of one of us are interested in Boo, chat to me. Make me an offer. I'll try and have a deal with you. And I'd be interested to know what you think it's worth. What any of you think it's worth. I did ask somebody on a forum and I got a few answers saying don't accept less than £3,000. But that's on a Rover 100 and Metro forum where they probably try and push the values. You did read in the comments that Boo did get damaged in the stormy weather. Yeah, the wind blew the outhouse door out over, fell on Boo. I've only had a look in the dark. I've not been able to properly assess. Boo is still at the restaurant. The plan is tomorrow to bring her home. So tomorrow night I'll go in something, don't know what, maybe I might go in Minge Bag. Minge Bag's due a drive. So I might take Minge Bag to the restaurant tomorrow and bring Boo home. And then we can have a proper look at the damage and see what can be done. I'm hoping that it's, well, we'll have a look. You only detest Armstrong because he was popping Sheryl Crow. I don't know about Sheryl Crow. Don't know what she looks like. But that's not the reason I detest him. I mean, he's a genuinely unpleasant human being, unfortunately. I like the idea of a Spitfire, but it's probably a bad one. There's not too much damage, Joe. No, there's not too much damage. I don't think, from what I could see in the dark, I don't think there's even a dent. There's either going to be there's the tail light and two panels involved, but I'm hoping that whatever's there will just polish out. We'll have a look at it I'll bring it home tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and we'll have a look at it on Wednesday and see what the score is. But I've got big plans for Boo this year. Land Rover lunches, left, right, and centre. It's going to be a thing. And I really am tired, and I really am going to go. Oh, we need to discuss Furious Matt tomorrow. P6 issue tonight. I saw his thumbnail saying something about he's had it with the 4.6 litre P6. But I haven't watched any of Matt's videos for ages, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm not reading that out, Cheeseburger. But yeah, I mean, if you try and shoehorn a P6 V8 into a, well, I suppose in theory, if the 3.5 litre V8 fitted, the 4.6 should fit, shouldn't it? So why not? Why not? Oh, was he really pissed off with it? Right, I might watch that while I potter about and get my supper ready then. If he's really pissed off, that could be. Oh, no, well, that's Schadenfreude, isn't it? To enjoy watching somebody else being pissed off. But I think I will watch it. Darlings, I'm going. I'm absolutely shattered. I will see you tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. Have yourselves a safe and peaceful night. Much love from me, and very good night to you. See you tomorrow. John, you take care of yourself. Keep your chin up. And you, Soph. Catch you all tomorrow. Oh, hang on. Put you, bosh. I'll turn up.